Halloween is fast approaching, and October has already given us more treats than tricks. If you haven't been able to revisit the foggy streets of Silent Hill 2 yet, never fear, Aimee at Game Rant here with some titles definitely worth checking out. Number 10, Tormented Souls. Bringing back the classic fixed camera horror experience, blending elements from Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The game follows Caroline Walker as she investigates her sister's disappearance in a hospital-turned-mansion. With its puzzles and terrifying atmosphere, this is definitely a must-play. Dementium: The Ward. This was originally pitched as a Silent Hill game for the Nintendo DS, but became its own thing after Konami passed on it. Set in a creepy hospital, the first-person horror game features eerie environments and a focus on survival, clearly inspired by Silent Hill. At number 8, Cry of Fear. Another psychological survival horror built using Half-Life's engine. The protagonist finds himself in a nightmare following a car accident, navigating desolate streets and facing disturbing monsters, very much like the first Silent Hill. Number 7, Layers of Fear. From the studio that brought you Silent Hill 2 Remake, Layers of Fear is a psychological horror that focuses more on its aesthetic and storytelling rather than the actual gameplay, popularizing the divisive walking simulator. The game follows similar beats to Silent Hill 2, following an artist's descent into madness, as he's tortured by his own actions and sins. Number 6, The Mortuary Assistant. You work alone in a morgue, performing rituals to identify which corpses have been possessed. This game provides such an eerie and frightening atmosphere and also has hidden story elements that make it somewhat a spiritual successor to Silent Hill's psychological depth. Number 5, The Evil Within 2. It could be argued that the first Evil Within took some inspiration from Silent Hill. The second entry definitely has more parallels, with its warped reality and grotesque creatures. As Sebastian, you explore the twisted world of Union, blending nightmare and reality in a way that fans of Silent Hill will definitely recognize. Number 4, Alan Wake. A lot of people would say Stephen King stories and Twin Peaks are the inspirations behind Alan Wake, but Silent Hill definitely adds to the recipe. Players take the role of the titular Alan Wake, a successful writer who's trying to unveil the mystery behind his wife's disappearance. In the town of Bright Falls, that has clear parallels to Silent Hill, Alan must journey through, fighting creepy shadowy figures with combat Silent Hill fans are familiar with, which has its protagonist not super familiar with guns and heavy swings with melee weapons. And in our third place, Visage. Alright, I know I do say it funny, but this game was born from the same horror that PT sparked, focusing on claustrophobic, oppressive atmospheres. Players navigate a haunted house, dealing with ghosts and demons in a setting directly inspired by Silent Hill and the playable teaser. Number 2, Infliction. Infliction is another game often seen as a spiritual successor to the playable teaser. You explore a house that definitely feels similar to the ones players go through in PT, but also exploring some dark subjects. It brings a lot of the creepy elements that PT gave us, with its great atmosphere, a sinister radio host that delivers a very peculiar late-night talk show, and disturbing noises from an entity that could be right behind you. While not completely original in its premise or design, it's still an extremely impressive game. And our number 1 pick, Allison Road. Probably one of the most infamous PT clones, to the point that this Kickstarter project met the same fate and was sadly cancelled back in 2016. However, fans could get a 30-minute pre-alpha gameplay video which revealed an unnamed protagonist waking up in a mysterious town suffering from amnesia. They stumble across a house that is very inspired by PT with its design, closing off with a ghostly woman attacking the player before the screen cuts to black. While this game didn't actually come out, it's clearly influenced by the iconic Silent Hill series. And that completes our list of recommendations to dive into more psychological horror this October. Thanks so much for watching this video from Game Rant. I've been Aimee, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.